Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. Today I am going to do a comparison of Wet n Wild's um, Rose in the Air palette to the Modern Renaissance. I'm actually going to do finger swatches of both, just so you can kind of see how close they swatch together. It is a pretty palette. The colors, like I said, remind me of my Modern Renaissance like crazy, and there's certain colors in this Modern Renaissance that I've hit pan on golden ochre, which I really like. So this is what this one looks like. And then there's this one. You can kind of see where a lot of the shades are the same. Again, you're getting the normal reflection from my ring light. It's just going to have to be one of those things. But you can see right off the top, like this one and this one look good. Burnt umber and this brown one are close. This one and that is Vermeer is close. So I'm gonna Bon Fresco and this light purple one. So I'm gonna literally just start swatching between the two on my arm. I will wipe it off in between just to show you how close they are. So we're gonna start out using this one and the burnt umber. These are the two I just mentioned in this one. And I got it on my upper finger. Woohoo! We're gonna do, there's the one I would compare to burnt umber, and then here is the one I would compare to raw sienna. Now I'm gonna grab cypress umber. I don't know why I'm saying burnt umber. Cypress umber and raw sienna. I just stuck my fingernail in my Modern Renaissance. Oops. Here is the raw sienna. It's a little lighter brown, a little bit more golden, where this is more red, but it's pretty darn close. And this is a deeper, richer brown than cypress umber, but I could see where you could blend these two to look almost the same. I really, really could. Alrighty. We're going to take a brush and see how it applies with a brush. I usually use a fluffy brush to apply most of my colors. I probably should just do that with this too, shouldn't I? So you can see the difference how they fluff in, because that really gives you an idea how how pigmented a color truly is. So we're going to grab this one that I would call their variation of raw sienna. Oops, and I just touched something else. So let's come down here. This is their version of raw sienna. Not bad. I'm knocking it off in my color switch in between. And then here's the real raw sienna. Okay, you're getting more pigment out of the Wet n Wild version than the Modern Renaissance. And I do have about the same amount of kick up, to be honest, between the two of them. They're both very powdery formulas. So I'm not really too surprised on that one. Okay, then we're going to do the one I would compare to cypress umber. I should have done it up there, but it's too late. We're gonna just fluff it in using and the brush I'm using is my crease brush from Moda, the Moda Pro line. It's BMX-430 crease. So here's the Wet n Wild version, and now we're gonna grab the cypress umber. Okay, you're getting a little bit more with the cypress umber, but it's still not bad at all. Not in comparison. Very dupeable. Very, very dupeable. I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty impressed so far for what we've seen. Just wipe my arm off in between. We all know how that is, right? But I definitely wanted to see how some of these colors duped out. Alrighty. Next color on the list. Now some of these I'm just going to do finger swatches because they're a glitter formula and I never fluff glitter formulas in. So let's go ahead and do that. That is this purple one, which I would equate to antique bronze, which is across from what I consider their cypress umber. So if you finger swatch theirs, and then their other glitter one in here that I would be this one right here, which would be very similar to Primavera. I'm interested to see how that does. So this is their version of Primavera. and their version of antique bronze. Not bad, not bad. Alright, now let's get the Modern Renaissance version of antique bronze and Primavera. I will say this, texture-wise, the Modern Renaissance are softer, and I think I'm picking up more pigment, if you will. So here's the Modern Renaissance version. Definitely lighter, more yellow, where this is more orange gold. Now this one is more plummy, where this is a little bit more red. You're getting a little bit more shine off this one, but these two have the same shine factor. So for the ones that, you know, by the time you put this on your eye, you really may not notice the subtle differences. I would, but that's me, somebody doing my makeup who's, okay, I was going to say anal, okay, but really picky. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this G-rated, but you know what I mean? I'm picky with certain things. Alrighty, the next color then. Now we see the glitters, and those are the only two glitters in this one. But in the Modern Renaissance, we also have the mirror, which is a pink shimmer, not the yellow tone. So, alrighty, what's the next color I would say be duped? Alright, we have this one here, which I would say is a dupe for Bon Fresco. And then this guy here, I would say is a dupe. I want to say Valentine Red or Love Letter, because those two are so similar. One leans more towards pink and one leans towards purple. So we're going to do a finger swatch of both of these. I will say this one here is very dry and rough. This is not. The light purple one's very smooth, but this one's very dry and rough. So we're going to do the Wet n Wild version of Bon Fresco. Very patchy. That's one thing I will say about that color. And then this one is the probably either the Valentine Red or Love Letter. I'm going to have to actually swatch to see which one. But you can see I got crumblies on that one. That one, a lot of companies struggle with the reddy brown, reddy purples. They get really dry. It drives me nuts. Okay, let's do Bon Fresco, the Modern Renaissance version. It is smoother and creamier, and definitely not as patchy. And you can see it's more of a tone of gray. This has definitely more of a taupe. Subtle differences, like I said. Alrighty, then we're gonna take Valentine Red and see how close of a dupe that is. Yep, dead on. I'm not even going to bother trying Love Letters because that's more purple. Color spot on. And it has the same kind of dry consistency, though not as bad as the Wet n Wild, but pretty darn close. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference. Alrighty, let's grab my crease brush, the same as what I was using earlier, and grab Bon Fresco. And we're going to try, this is the Modern Renaissance. I grabbed that one first on accident, you guys. Smooth, even, no problem with pigmentation. That one you never do. It always seems to have gone on really well every time I've ever used it. Alright, now let's try the Wet n Wild. I wish these pans were a little bit more square and not so long, but I know they were going for a look. And here we're going to do it right here. You can see how much dust I'm getting off that. It's more dusty than the other one. Definitely lighter. Not as full coverage, but the color shift could be part of that too. Not bad, but not awesome. Okay, the next one, again blowing off the dust, but I have to do that on both of them. We're going to do what I would call the Valentine's Red. Okay, this is the Wet n Wild version. Okay, that's not good. Look how patchy that is. I really have to... You're going to have to build that color quite a bit. Quite a bit. Let's see how the Modern Renaissance does. A little easier. Still have to build it, but it definitely is smoother. Where this one's definitely more patchy. Bit of a disappointment on that, but for the price point, it may be a go, or if you can't afford the Modern Renaissance, it looks like it's being almost a phenomenal dupe. The next one up would be, you know what, I should probably just wipe my arm off right quick because I have a lot of color going on here. You know, I'm getting techno-colored here. we're just joining the masses with the Technicolor, right? Alright, and just dry my arm off. Blowing off the dust off my Modern Renaissance. Alrighty, and then cleaning off my brush at my color switch. Alrighty, the next color we're going to hit is going to be this one here, which I would say is red ochre. And this one would be real gear, I would say. Yeah, that's real gear's dupe. And then this one would be red ochre. Now we're going to get the Modern Renaissance 2. So this is real gear. You see how this is definitely a lighter orange and this is more intense? You're going to struggle getting the intensity, I think. And then there is the red ochre. Again, a little bit more intense. This one's a little sheer. I think with the Wet n Wild, from what I've seen here, and actually from my personal use, it's not a bad dupe for the price. Because you're going from basically $45 down to $5. 1/10 the price. You can get the exact same colors, but you are going to struggle getting the intensity. So you're going to have to foil it, and you're going to have to pack it on, and then lightly blend. Don't overblend, because that is something I've seen with this palette when I've used it. Overblending, and suddenly it's gone. And then I had to put more on. Then I had to put more on. That is a complaint I will say I have with these. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place the color, and then you're going to very lightly blend in between. If you want to see me do a look with this explaining how I used it, I can definitely do that. Just leave a comment below and I will do that. Alrighty, those were those two swatched. Let's grab this brush. I don't want to make this video too long. And we're grabbing the Wet n Wild version of red ochre. I should have grabbed the other one first, but that's okay. See how it goes on, intensifies color, no issues. Let's grab I almost forgot which one I dipped into. Oh my goodness. And then here is the Wet n Wild version. It blends out the same. I can't say anything wrong there. That one did identical. Just a slight variation on the red shade. And like I said, most people aren't going to notice. Little known tip for y'all. Most men, 90% of the men are some variation of colorblind. Little piece of information. Not like massive, but they lose shades. I had a ex-boyfriend who used to tell me it was purple, and I'm like, no, that's blue. And for some reason, his eyes could not see the blue. Drove me nuts. Anyways, just a little piece of information. Fun fact of the day. Alright, then we're going to hit the Wet n Wild version of Real Gear. Right there. A lot of powder, but you know, that's kind of Modern Renaissance does the same thing. And then we're going to hit the Real Gear. The Modern Renaissance Real Gear. Now that one is definitely more pigmented. You can see it right away. It went on real quick. This one I had to build up a little bit, but overall, not bad. There's only 2 left in here. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that we went through this quicker than I thought we were going to. I thought it would be like a 30-minute video to get through all these swatches, but it's going pretty quickly. Me and my crazy fun facts, right? Who would have thought 90% of men have some form of colorblind? But I've checked it. It's a statistical fact. I can't say that word properly today, obviously. But, and it's not like they're completely colorblind. They just, certain shades are gone. So, it is what it is. The last two would be, this one would be a dupe for Tempera. And this one is the one that I was stumped on. I thought maybe burnt orange, but it's almost too taupey. This is the one that really doesn't have a dupe in the Modern Renaissance. I'm going to try the warm taupe next to it. It may not work. Okay, here is the Wet n Wild version of Tempera. And here is their version of warm taupe. And then we're going to go grab the real Tempera and the warm taupe. The texture is about the same. Make sure I got the right one. Here's the Modern Renaissance. dang, the color is almost spot on. And then let's see if this is the warm taupe. Oh, yes, it is. I was thinking I had a taupe. It's a little smoother. This one's a little complicated. This is cooler tone. This is warmer tone. But not bad. I have to say this. Their Rose in the Air is a spot-on dupe for the Modern Renaissance. I have to say I'm pretty impressed with that. But like I said earlier, I have been using these, and I have found there is a different technique to apply this compared to the Modern Renaissance. Modern Renaissance, you just gently tap the color and you buff it in, or you tap it on and you lightly blend in between. There's a couple different ways, but it's very pigmented, very intense. This guy is not as pigmented. You're going to have to build some of the colors up to get what you want, and you're going to have to use a slightly different technique of patting it into place, lightly blending, and maybe touching up again. So those are some big variations you're going to have to keep in mind. But if you don't mind a little bit more work on that, this is looking pretty great. We're going to first do the Tempera and the Wet n Wild. Yeah, that fluffs on pretty good. But you see how that shears out to almost nothing? And that was a complaint I had with this really light one. It was driving me nuts because every time I turned around, I felt like it was gone. Where with the Modern Renaissance one, when you put it on, even if you push, you can still see it. You know what I mean? Where that's gone, that's still there. So that's something you have to keep in mind. That Tempera is not as pigmented. You're going to want to gently place it and lightly blend. Don't overblend because you'll be mad. You have to go back in and touch it up again. And Modern Renaissance version of Warm Taupe. Not bad. Again, you can see where it was the warmer tone. And the Modern Renaissance Warm Taupe. Definitely cooler and definitely smoother. This one's a little patchier. This one's a little smoother. But that's it. That's it. We did all the colors in here. It went way quicker than I thought. I really thought this video would be like half an hour long. I was fully expecting to be having to edit it down to half an hour because I try not to go over that, though occasionally I do. For my first one, I would say for Modern Renaissance dupe, they nailed it. It's going to be, I'm going to say, it is missing a couple colors, so I would say it's a 80% dupe. The colors it's missing is like Golden Orchard, Burnt Orange, so these two. Let me see, what other one was it missing? Love Letter. Yeah. Oh, and Verma. So they ditched out this pink shimmer, this purple, and then the orange and yellow. But all the rest are spot on for colors dupes. Quality dupe? No. This is still a better quality, easier to use. But like I said, for the price point of $5 compared to 42, 45, there's talk about this going up in price. So, I love the quality. I love how easy it is, especially with me being short on time. This is my preference. But if you don't mind spending a few extra minutes and you want to save the money, the Wet n Wild Rose in the Air is a dupe for the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia of Beverly Hills. So definitely worth the investment if you don't want to, spend this kind of money. I don't blame you. I really don't. I spent way too much money on makeup. You've seen my eyeshadow collection, and it's actually grown since I did my collection. My declutter on everything else but eyeshadows, I just can't get rid of them. I love my eyeshadow palettes. Anyways, I've added a few ones, but I have a haul coming up here quite quick. They do give you a couple ideas on the back of colors. There's similar ones you can do with a Modern Renaissance. So if you look up somebody's how to do their makeup with a Modern Renaissance, you probably can dupe it as long as it doesn't use those 4 colors that I had mentioned that were missing. 80% dupe. I will give this for a store brand. It gets a B. It doesn't get an A because the quality could be better, but it definitely gets a solid B. And for $5, I think is what I paid for this at Wally World. One hell of a deal. I do have dupes coming out on the other 4. I hopefully will trying to get them up sometime this next week. I also have a empties video I need to get up. I had actually recorded that some time ago, and I never really deleted it. Thank goodness I hadn't gotten rid of the products yet, because I'm going to actually record that after this, so I have two ready to go. Y'all take care, and remember, till next time, you do you. Bye!